Hi, I'm Jules from Fast Car, and today we are looking at this amazing Ferrari F430. So Charlie, this is your Ferrari, your Liberty Walk Ferrari. People know you as G20 Bag on Insta.
Yeah.
Just want to talk about the car today with you. So one thing that's mad, obviously, it's a Liberty Walk kit. So that is crazy, but I love all the little details on this car that probably go unmissed to the untrained eye. So we were just talking about the headlights, for example, and the rear
exactly
lights.
that. Again, you mentioned I'm known on Instagram as that name. To be fair, you know, we did this as a. This was maybe done for me. This wasn't done as a show car. I mean, realistically, I did it with the intentions of popping down to car audio every now and then for a cars and coffee meet and a shisha with the boys sort of thing. It was never intended to go like this, and obviously, as you've seen, it's blown up.
Yeah, because I mean, I saw it first, I think, at Goodwood Festival of Speed. Yeah. And you really do hit the shows, don't you, hard?
Much to my wife's dismay. Yeah, I'm on a limit. One on, one off. I'm not allowed to have 2 shows in consecutive weekends, otherwise that's it, I'm grounded.
So as you can see, this car's definitely on air ride.
So when I first went to car audio, I just sort of naive and assumed that everything was just airlift, but Prazis do a very bespoke, very special performance car strut, which works incredible on this. You felt the ride. Yeah. It handles incredibly with the airlift 3H management. You know, as we did earlier, we were playing around with some shots, and we can air it out from a phone, which is great fun for when you're at the shows and the bits and pieces as well, but it's also great for really fine-tuning where you want the car to sit and how you want it to look. With such a wide kit, we had to find a wheel that would fit. Yeah. So yeah, completely custom made, Rotiform VDAs, rears are 11.5J, fronts are 9.5J, and the offset is ET minus 70. So I didn't know much about offsets. I was the guy who would buy wheels and they'd either be too far out or too far in, and you'd have to buy God knows how many shims and spaces to get them away from the caliper. But yeah, it's fair to say I've done my research, and I don't think there's anything nicer than driving a car where you can look in your rear view mirrors and just see that wheel spinning. You know you're wide then.
So there's the legendary V8 engine in there. And you've got this stunning carbon, you've got your colour scheme running through. Yeah. But I guess the showpiece in here is that thing there. So could you just tell us about that?
Yeah. The sort of the soul and party of it is this little bad boy here. It was supposed to be, as I said earlier, a little sort of retrofit piece that would bolt in and bolt out. Yeah. But as I've been told by my Ferrari specialist around the corner from me, it's very difficult to get in and out. So we won't be changing that anytime soon. But yeah, Deutsch-Tech did an amazing job of it. They're itching to do a titanium version of it instead, because that seems to be what the big boys do these days. But as you can appreciate, I think each titanium 90-degree bend worked out to be something like 7 times the price of a stainless one. And there was 32 90-degree bends used for this. So I'll let you do the maths on that. But yeah, they've definitely done an incredible job.
But to be fair, like cruising along now, it's not like unbearable, is it?
No, it's nice. I mean, look, you can either pop it into 6th gear and you're away, or you can light up. So yeah, she makes enough noise.
And you're quite big on the old accessories, aren't you? Yes. Looking at your wrist there. That's a bit special. So
yeah, that sort of originated as a joke. I did the edit, sent it to Jimmy at Liberty Walk. He loved it, and then after a phone call conversation with someone, I said, look, Jimmy, I need you to actually tell me how much you love that watch, but in an official email that gives me permission to use Liberty Walk's branding. And yeah, there it is.
So I mean, right at the beginning of the video, I said I really like the details on this car. Here's one of them.
They're actually exactly the same lights as a Ferrari Enzo. So this is about as close to a Ferrari Enzo that I'll ever own. But there we go, that's my little claim to fame. When you're driving these cars, the back end of this car literally might as well start melting. They get so hot, and the original lights, they do get so brittle, they crack. There's not a lot of people out there that actually do a direct replacement for these. There's a lot of people out there doing YouTube videos on how to glue your existing lights back together. But I wasn't about to start doing that. Luckily, Morimoto They came through with these. They're amazing. It also doesn't just serve as a purpose, it really brings that car into this current era. It looks new, it looks good, and it looks like a supercar should, rather than the little noddy lights we had before.
And as you said, it's like a 15-year-old car now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it looks like it's brand new.
It definitely doesn't get the respect it's deserved for being 15 years old.
Should we have a look in the interior? Because that's another massive part of this car.
Yeah.
So I think you said to me when we were out for a test drive that the reason you bought this car was because of the white interior.
Yeah, exactly that. A lot of people say that I love the interior, it's so different. Like, what made you go for white? I'm like, no, that's what made me go for the car. I mean, not just the white interior, but the sort of the blank canvas vibes it was giving me. Black car, white interior. I love the sort of the monochrome look, the very grayscale. Whenever I tell anyone I drive a Ferrari, a black Ferrari with a white interior, they go, "Do you mean cream?" No. "Do you mean tan?" No, it's white. Like an A4 piece of paper, it's white.
And this white interior, so this was,
this was literally already in it.
And is it not stock or is it?
So it's not standard, but I found out very recently, because obviously how Ferrari do it with their sort of optional extras written on the plaque sort of thing. In these older ones, everything's in a code. But I found out through some guys who work at Ferrari, they could basically pull up the original order of the car, and this was actually done by Ferrari, just custom to a customer's specifications sort of thing.
Right.
Literally with the quilted headlining, everything was literally done like this out of the factory. Yeah. And then they sort of look up, they notice they notice the diamond quilting in the top. The amount of people that look at me, they're like, "Can I touch it?" Because it's ridiculously spongy. I sometimes wish I could flip the car over just so I could lay on it.
Bump your head on it.
Yeah. Full JL audio. That's always been my sort of trademark. Rotiform Wheels, JL audio sounds. To be fair, a lot of people said to me before we got it, they said, "Why are you doing a sound system in a supercar? You won't hear it." I can promise you now, you can't even hear the engine when this is turned up. It sounds incredible, and everything's tucked away. You know, they've done the sub. The speakers are all hidden back in the OEM ports.
Ah, so you've got your air tank,
so
compressors.
My wife actually went down and saw the car while they were fitting this. She brought a couple of her little holdalls along, and she literally left her holdalls with them and said, "These have to fit." So they've made as streamlined a job as possible. They've obviously made it still look like a showpiece. So they've done very well with that by keeping sort of everything very shallow. And then we decided to go that little extra bit further. We've tried to do a bit of a storyline behind it. So Homer's obviously doing his thing like he always does, sitting there. He's made his decisions, he's got his Ferrari gear, he's got his carnival, and he doesn't really care what else is going on in the rest of the world, hence why we've sort of gone for a different colour scheme over there.
And your car's in the background.
That is like my car in the background, yeah. So then you've got a little bit of shout out to companies that have worked on the car, for example, Deutsch. We've got a lovely little German looking rocket to shout out to the guys for doing the exhausts. We're at the Ferrari Mart with Itchy, we've got Bart doing the graffiti, and then we've got the Liberty Walk donuts. Now, one thing we haven't got for real yet, of course, is the Ferrari cease and desist letter. I'm sure it's pending. They don't like us playing with their cars. Including the Liberty Walk kit, you've got the full front splitter, you've got the full fenders, including little carbon fins around it.
Yeah, they're really
Obviously,
nice.
the whole side skirt going down the car, the rear fenders, the ducktail spoiler, and the oversized rear diffuser.
And this car now doesn't go through width restrictions.
It does.
Oh, it does.
You just won't have wheels, you won't have body kit. If you went through one, you'd either leave the car there or you'd bring the width restriction with you.
Because how wide is it?
It measures 7'2", point to point.
Blimey.
And no one believes me. So the amount of times I've actually had to get a tape measure out, air it back up so the tape measure fits underneath the car, lay on the floor, clip it on, and then they start actually realising that, yeah, it is 7'2". It's an inch wider than the skip lorry that turned up at my yard the other day. Everyone in this scene seems to be somehow finding more ideas to do different things to their cars, so I guess I'll have to try and keep up somehow. Like I mentioned to you originally, we do have a winter spec coming for the car, which will be quite fun, and it'd be great to get you guys involved and do some shots with that.
Do a
little transition thing. So yeah, we've got some few bits happening for the winter, and I don't know where 24 is taking us, but it'll be fun to find out.
Charlie, thanks so much for taking your time today to walk us through your Liberty Walk build. It's incredible. It looks amazing on the road. It drives really well. So yeah, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much for the invite.
No problem at all. And if you've enjoyed this video, remember to like, subscribe and share.